China wants to make a deal. They just don't know how quite to go about it. Getting a little bit yippy, a little bit afraid, unlike these champions, because we have a big job to do. No other president would have done what I did. No other president. I know the presidents, they wouldn't have done it. The stock market is very tricky. I was watching it, but if you look at it now, it's beautiful. The bond market right now is beautiful. But yeah, I saw last night where people were getting a little queasy. I think everything had, well, the big move wasn't what I did today. The big move was what I did on Liberation Day.
What happens when the world's biggest economy starts slapping tariffs like it's a boxing match? President Trump just shocked the global economy again. From shocking tariff hikes to a sudden 90-day pause, and a fiery trade standoff with China, the international market is in full panic mode. Why did Trump target 60 countries? Why did China fire back harder? And will this all end in economic disaster or a deal? Let's break it down in today's episode of Global Insights. Just hours after new tariffs kicked in on April 10th, hitting dozens of countries, President Trump made a sudden change. On the same day, he announced a lowered reciprocal tariff of 10% for most countries but increased tariffs on Chinese goods to a massive 125%. Why the sharp move against China? Trump said it was because China had shown a lack of respect. Earlier that day, China had hit back with 84% tariffs on U.S. products, and Trump didn't take it lightly. This all started on April 3rd, when Trump shocked the world by announcing a bold new trade plan, a 10% baseline tariff on all imports coming into the U.S. But that wasn't all. He also targeted what he called the worst offenders, countries like the European Union, Vietnam, South Africa, and others. These nations were hit with even higher tariffs, with some facing more than 100% in extra. The markets went wild. Trillions were lost in global sell-offs. U.S. interest rates surged to 4.5%, and Americans feared rising prices and even recession. But after Trump's tariff pause was announced, the stock market exploded upward. The S&P 500 jumped 9.5%, and the Dow soared by 7.8%. So, what changed? Trump said countries that didn't retaliate like the EU would get a break. He even warned, if you retaliate, we'll double it. And that's exactly what he did to China. This is the latest episode in a long-running US-China trade battle. It started with a 20% levy, then China was hit with an extra 34%, and now it's 125% total. In response, Beijing fired back with 84% tariffs and promised to fight to the end. China's foreign ministry called the US actions bullying, and demanded mutual respect and reciprocity. The World Trade Organization warns that if this escalates further, trade between the US and China could collapse by 80%. A mind-blowing $466 billion loss. Meanwhile, other tariffs are still active and causing tension. 25% on steel and aluminum in effect since April 2nd. And 25% on car and car part imports, also started in early April. And the European Union's own retaliation, approved just days ago, is set to kick in on April 15th, unless a last-minute deal is reached. These ongoing tariffs are adding fuel to an already heated global trade fight, with no signs of slowing down. And it's not just China anymore, even close allies are now clashing with the US. Canada, for example, has officially entered the fight. On March 4th, Trump slapped 25% tariffs on all Canadian imports except energy, which was hit with 10%. Canada hit back hard. That same day, they fired back with 25% tariffs on $30 billion worth of US goods. But it doesn't stop there. Canada is now preparing a second wave of tariffs on up to $125 billion more, possibly including cars, steel, aluminum. If this goes through, it'll hit American businesses and consumers even harder. This is more than a trade dispute, it's a power struggle between the world's top economies. Trump's aggressive moves have caused market chaos, sparked fear among allies, and pushed China to the edge. But will this bold gamble bring better deals or backfire on the global stage? As nations brace for impact, one thing is clear in this game of tariffs: everyone's got something to lose. What do you think? Will Trump's strategy lead to a fairer trade system, or is he leading us into economic warfare? Comment below. We want to hear your thoughts. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more global insights, where we break down the power plays, trade wars, and global moves shaping our world. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.